This is fine. Whoops. Sorry. Technical difficulties. We had to move the operation. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
So I've been talking forever about getting to the fabulous stuff that Thomas Brown introduced me to at York last spring, and we're finally getting there tonight. Does anybody have paver patios or paver driveways at home? And you use that wonderful polymeric sand to get rid of your weeds. You can buy this at Lowe's. It comes in 40-gallon buckets or 40-pound buckets. That sounds really big, but they're not. It's about $50 for a bucket of it. I've got some in our garage because we do have a paver driveway. And Thomas introduced me to this. He has done all sorts of wonderful things. The first one I'll show you is he's colored it. So this is all polymeric sand that he's just put on styrofoam to test it. It takes color really, really well. Another one that he's done is he created his own mortar and he made a brick wall, which I just think is fabulous. It's like working in concrete on a really small scale. And then he did ballast. He added larger gravel to it and dyed it. So this is pretty much the sand without anything in it, and this is with larger gravel, and then this is the sand with just paint. So you can get ballast in any color you want. And for the amount of ballast we have put on our layout, I can attest it would be a lot less expensive to use polymeric sand. Sorry, Dennis Brennan. And then over here, he's given us a hill. He built it out of styrofoam. He just put different levels. And he's got a little road. He must have had a building here. And again, he flocked part of it, a little bit lighter green, and then he's got a road bed down here again. So it's incredibly versatile and it hardens really, really well. So it doesn't shed, which is really nice. So let's see. I played with this. Oh, he's also done what I think is amazing. Check out the beach. So he made a beach and a little sandcastle. Again, this is all out of the polymeric sand. And then he used resin to create the water coming in. And you get that wonderful look like the tide's coming in and out. I just think this is terrific. Really sorry I didn't discover it myself. Another one he did that I really love, he created an aggregate walkway. He just added stones to it when it was still soft, added them all in there, and it just makes a beautiful pathway. Let's see, what else do I have?
Liz, what sets it up?
Water. Here, I'll
That's
show
it?
you. So this is kind of a little desert scene that he's done, and he has static grasses on it. But here I'll show you. I did this a little bit earlier tonight, and it's already hardened. That was about an hour and a half ago. This is absolutely no color. This is spraying water with color in it. And this was actually mixing it with the paint and a little bit of water. Kind of looks like a coal dump or something else. But this is the sand itself. It's really fine. And you can just spread it however you like. Create a large area or a small one. Give it a little hill, little texture. Got to put this on before I spill it. It would make a mess. And then I just, whoops, sorry. Don't have as much space here as I thought I did. This is just plain water. And I just spray it on lightly. It doesn't take much at all. And that will soak into it. And it'll be as hard as this is. It's like mixing concrete in really small quantities. It's just incredible. I think you could probably literally mix it in a bowl and then put it, in whatever shapes you wanted, which I just think is fabulous.
What's
And
that stuff called again, Liz?
it is polymeric sand, easy sand. You can buy it at Lowe's or Home Depot, Menards, wherever you go. It's in the paver department. So back in garden where you'd buy paving stones, they sell it in 40-pound buckets. And it's just amazing. So that's what the bucket looks like. Thank you, Thomas, for giving me all these things. But you can see while it's still wet, you can manipulate it. So it is like working with concrete. I could put things into it. If I had like a light post or a tree, I could literally stick it in there and it would stay. And if you want to color it, this is just water with a little bit of the acrylic paint in it. It's brown. And if we just, oh, sorry, not enough water. There we go. And if you do that, you've got color. And again, you can do any color that you like. And then this one, he's already added a little bit heavier stone to. So we could kind of go around the outside there. And, you know, you could go to your, oh, like Hobby Lobbies or Michael's and get all those little decorative stones and put them into these. You can also paint it when it dries, but I like adding the color as you go. So that's just water. And in about an hour, that'll be hard as concrete. So non-shedding, which is
You
really
hold
cool.
up Liz, can you hold up the package one more time,
Oh,
please?
certainly. It's easy sand. It's polymeric sand. So what this stuff does is you sweep it into the cracks on your paver patio or your paver driveway, and you water it in and it hardens. So it's like grouting your pavers, but without the mess. So you wet it in place. And again, if you look at this, it's like he created his own concrete block and he put bricks into it and created this fabulous piece of walkway or wall, whichever way you want to do that.
Hey, Liz.
Yeah.
This is Tom. This is Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, yeah, that wall you just showed.
Yes.
What I actually did there was I put in the bricks first, and
Oh, okay.
then just spread the tan
Around it.
stuff in. Then take a pipette and just put the pipette on the
Oh,
drops
okay.
water on the brick, and it washes it right into the
Oh,
motor
fabulous. Even
slots.
easier.
Yeah. So
So have
yeah,
you ever
you
mixed
put
it in a
down-
bowl and worked with it?
yeah, I don't think that would work. I haven't tried it, but I mean, you certainly could try it.
See,
Typically, what I do is
go ahead.
I typically put it down in the landscaping that I want, and
Uh-huh.
then I use a pipette. If you use
Okay.
the spray, and you can use the spray, but the projection of the velocity of the spray with the air sometimes dislodges the sand. The sand is actually, it does come in 40-pound buckets, but it's like $25.
Yeah.
It'll last you a long, long time.
It's very
Uh,
inexpensive.
right. And if I'm going to add, like you said, Liz, if I'm going to add color to it, I dilute some paint, whatever color I want, into the water, and then I use the pipette or a eyedropper. It spreads very quickly, but if you're not satisfied with it, just come back and try again.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, as you're showing here, the one on which is right on your right, that's actually the what they call gray. It's it's coarser than the tan. So
Okay.
they're two different colors. The darker colored having more of a coarser and some white in it.
Tom, is there any reason to add a little soap to break surface tension when you're using it on spaces?
Sometimes that's correct. Sometimes you need to put a drop or two dishwasher soap in it. So it depends really on the surface that you have on. You put the sand on top. If it's not very porous, you'll get some surface tension. Other times you won't. I mean, as soon as that water touches that sand, it just spreads like crazy. But sometimes you have to break the surface tension. Like
Yeah, it does
if you're
not
doing
take
a hill,
much.
if you're doing a hill, you can actually put the water at the bottom of the hill, and it will actually soak upwards, which keeps it makes it easier to keep the hill from falling down until it hardens.
I actually did
Also very
this with,
useful.
go ahead.
Yeah,
I actually did that with the black paint. I put
right.
down a pool of black paint and then I put it in and it absorbed.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a really cool. And you know, we used Liz, we used that on the ocean scene. The ocean floor was actually put in with the easy sand, making some uh, uh, water underneath is not level, so
Right.
we put in the polymeric sand. We
Yeah, can you
colored
see it
it,
here?
yeah, and then we let it dry overnight, and then came back with the Woodland Scenics water, and then we used what was it, Liz? We used I used then I put the waves in
Right.
with I forget exactly. I didn't use Woodland Scenics. I forget what I used on it, but yeah, it
It
came out
looks
pretty good.
amazing.
Have you ever made a stucco building using it?
It's so funny you asked that. I was trying to use these buildings called Culver, and getting the sand into the mortar cracks. And unfortunately, there's not, you can't get enough sand into the mortar lines for it to um, glue together. And what I did find out was that it actually looks like if you put a lot of sand on and you wet it down, and then you take some of it off, it looks like a brick that's been mortared over and then decayed. Kind of
Interesting.
gives you a very old effect to it. But it won't give you a good break the mortar lines like you just did this evening, Jack.
So
Okay.
At least I haven't figured out how to do it yet.
Tom, those bricks that you had in there, what did you use for those bricks?
Oh, those were some leftover bricks that I had cast out of plaster,
Oh, okay.
and I
It
just
looks
colored them.
amazing. Yeah, he's got some more down here on the road that he did, that he used to border it. They're
Yeah,
great
that's right.
bricks. I just think it's amazing. What a great discovery.
I think one of the things I found, the nice things I found out about it is you can get a lot of, as modern roaders, we tend to build our bench work flat because we want the track to be smooth, and
True.
then we're often left with a lot of flat space to do our landscaping. And of course, we know it's not always flat. And so on some of the open areas, you can take this and you can make uh, little hills and indentations, little lakes and stuff without making a mountain out of it. And then you can color it any direction you want.
And it doesn't take a lot. If you have double tracks or triple tracks, it's really nice that you can add some dimension in between them. Again, with a small area and then mold it or um, make hillers as large as you like. I just
It
think it's
gives you
incredible.
it gives you a lot of grain texture.
Hmm.
And if you're making mountains out of styrofoam, um, it's very useful to fill in where the styrofoam
Absolutely.
pieces fit. I've also used it if you're using real rock on a hill or a fill someplace. You put your rocks down and then you put in uh, the sand and wet it down, and it fills in where dirt naturally would fill in around the rocks. And
Absolutely.
here, this one that she's showing, I did put the rocks down first, and then I filled it in with the sand, and then used the water.
It just looks amazing. Looks like aggregate concrete.
That's great.
Didn't he do a great job? He
Excellent.
brought all these pieces to me at York and showed this to me, and I'm just so impressed.
The reason for where she said the house was, I didn't put a house on there, but what I found is when we light our buildings, light tends to slip out underneath the buildings and through the cracks, and so you just lay a little bit of the sand along the foundation, and that blocks the light, and it also holds the building in place.
So you're grading your buildings to cover up the light.
Exactly.
I like it.
No water in the basements.
It's a crawl space. It's a slab. Any other questions for Tom? This is absolutely his creation.
Is there any use of like a white glue and water that you could use with that? I mean, what would that do? Would it make it thicker, or is it just totally not necessary?
It's really
I
not
don't think it's
necessary.
necessary.
So this stuff sticks to anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the thing about ballast is, when you put regular ballast down, you end up having to spray it with water, with
matte medium.
Yes, and then you have to make sure that you don't get it on your tracks. And this, you lay
But look at this. It does not shed. Like all the matte medium we've put in our ballast, trust me, it will still shed. But this is hard. It is solid.
You just use a pipette, and you don't get your tracks wet, and you can make it any color that you want. The first color was gray. The next color was the darker color, the brown, and then I added in some aquarium gravel to there on her left.
This one?
Yeah, along with the sand. Yeah, but you can make it any color you want.
Very creative.
And it's cheap.
When you're placing it around the building, if you let it dry, will the building then stick to it? Or I guess what I'm wondering is if I want to be able to remove the building, right? Yes.
You can do the building will come up. It will stick to a little bit to the building, but it's not like real glue. You can dislodge it. And if you make a mistake, just use your X-Acto knife and break it up.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for Tom? Thank you, Tom. That was brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank you,
All right,
Liz.
here's Mr. Muffin.